Hello again everyone. So the PSIO device finally came out and we've finally got ours, arrived today in the mail. So what we're going to do is we're going to set it up and install it inside our, install a switchboard inside our PS1, put the PSIO in the back and set it up. To do this we're just going to use some solder, a loop, magnifying glass so we can see what we're doing, screwdriver to disassemble the unit, soldering iron and a razor blade here to cut traces. Right. So to save time, I've already disassembled the unit, so I'm going to move the casing out of the way. And we've got our PlayStation motherboard here. If you see on the back, it says PU22. So this is a PSIO device. It's going to slot into the back. USB port there, and SD port on the top. We don't need that for now, so I'm just going to move that out of the way. Here's our switchboard. And it's number 00192, I think. 197. You can see that. So we've got an early version here. So yeah, let's get cracking with this. It's got a double-sided tape on the back, so we just remove that and stick it on. Let's make sure we're sticking it on the right way. Just give it a small push down like so. Right, so these pins here, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Above this fifth pin here, we need to cut that trace in the middle, which is going to be difficult to get to, but that's what we've got to cut. So we're going to try and cut that with a razor blade now. Yeah, that feels cut for me. I'm not sure if you can see it on the camera. Let's try and... Yeah, I think I've cut that trace there, if you can see. Right, there you go. So you can see the trace is cut there. That's a nice cut. You can see the copper and you can see the cut. So that's the first trace cut that we needed to do. Right, next up we need to cut this trace here on the outside. This one. And it's supposed to be harder than the other one because it's so close to that guy. We're going to try and go for it there. That's where we'll make the cut, where there's the most space, and we're going to be cutting, let me show you, we're going to be cutting away from the board, so if we slip we don't cut the other vital traces over here. Right, I think we got that trace that time then. If I cover these up here, you can see there's 5 vias there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The second via down, where this piece of paper is now pointing to, we need to cut that trace that's connecting to that one. Yeah, that's that trace cut. That was tricky. So there you can see that trace is cut. The surrounding traces are untouched, which is what you want. So that's our 3 traces cut. The next step, we need to start soldering. So I'm going to make a clear way, get my soldering iron heating up and get ready for that. Okay, so while my soldering iron is heating up, what we do need to do is scrape a couple of points with the razor blade again to make them, to remove the solder mask so we can easily solder our kind of wire to it. So above that point that we cut, that trace that we cut earlier, that top, you can't see me doing that, coming this way. So this one here, we just need to give it a gentle scrape, very gentle, because you don't want to damage it. We don't want to actually cut this. We just want to remove its solder mask, so we can then solder to it. You just give it a bit of a scrape, you'll notice it goes shiny. That's the old solder mask being removed. Right, the next one is that guy there, across one. Right, so that's those two scrapes, the solder mask removed. Over here, where we cut that trace, we need to remove the mask on that connector via, and then this top one out of the two here. Right, so that's those 4 points ready for solder. Right, I've decided I'm going to change to my Kynar wire, which is the yellow Kynar wire. His green one that comes with his is a bit too thick, which makes it really difficult to solder to these very delicate wires. So I'm going to go to my 30 AWG Kynar, which I think will do the job better. Like so it's standing up. And I'm just going to bring the soldering iron to it with that tiny bit of solder, and it should create a nice joint for us. Which I think we've got. Let's give it a light tug. Yeah, so we soldered in, and we're going to fold this cable down against the board. I might put some tape or a bit of glue there in a second. Put a piece of tape there just to hold it in place. Right, so this wire goes to the second pin up there, the C1 pin. So place our wire in the hole again. Line up the Kynar like so. We're just going to bring the iron to it. Give it a gentle tug. You can see there we've got a nice solid connection. So again, I'm just going to fold this down and put another piece of tape over it. Now this one goes to the other side, and this is it. There we go, that's much better. So again, I'm going to feed it through the hole. No, we didn't get that one, I don't think. Oh, actually, well, yeah, we've got a solid connection. So just put some tape down there to hold it in place. It's coming this way. Just going to heat the pipe and the Kynar together. There we go. Tug to make sure you've got a nice solid joint. Like so. That's better. So that's in. Alright, so let's turn the board this way. So that's those. Down here on this area of the board, that says two traces cut, the 4 cables soldered in and soldered into the switchboard. Right, let's move on to the other areas of the board. We're ready to solder to the parallel port, these legs. The first point goes in here, so we're just going to line it up and get soldering. Like so. That's the first one in, give it a good tug. Just move it out of the way for a second. Because that again.
of seconds to cool. Nice tug, very happy with those 2 points.
Go in.
See, there's no bridging. That's in nice and secure. Right, now these 3 wires we're going to solder onto the switchboard, so let's move over to the switchboard. There we go, that's a nice solid connection, give it a nice little tug. Hit the counter and the point together for a couple of seconds. Remove, that's a nice solid solder joint there. Let's solder in this last one off the parallel part. Goes to PE at the top here. So I'm just going to line it up. Like so. Hit both points together. Give it a second, give it a tug. Alright, so that's that point soldered in. Right, 2 points I've forgotten about. Coming to the underneath. Voltage 3.3 volts there. Let me get that in close. So yeah, 2 points we forgot about. 3.3 volt voltage and a ground point which we need to solder in. So let's get to that now. So we need to solder a cable here to give it 3.3 volts and a cable here for ground. In between these 2 wires here, which have now got wires all in the way, we should have done this earlier. We need to scratch away the solder mask in between the 2 points, which will give us a place to solder a 3.3 volt cable to. And similarly, we need to do the same for ground. So let's scratch away the solder mask between these 2 if we can. Can we move these cables out of the way? We can move that one out of the way a bit, and maybe we can take these away. Not really on that one. Maybe we can lift it up though. We can lift it up and bend it back. There we go. So that makes us a room to scratch away the solder mask between these 2 wires. Ground in between these 2 wires here. So again we're scratching away. Shows better ground points, but it's very close. And voltage and ground, you kind of want short wires. That's nice and in. Right, let's solder the other end onto the main board if we can. That should be good for 3.3 volt. Okay, finally my ground cable. Let's try and get this guy in. Into the switchboard, nice. Let's line it up and try and that's a nice light connection onto the board. So that should be our install done for the switchboard. Right, so this is a basic install done. We've got our 1, 2, 3, 4 points going to the switchboard. We've got our 3 coming from the parallel port at the top going to the switchboard. We've got voltage and ground going to the main board where we made a place for them. That's the installation of the switchboard done. So now we're going to reassemble and test. So I'll come to you once I've got a reassembled PlayStation. So back in a minute. Okay, so we've fully reassembled the PlayStation and we've got it hooked up now. Reading the instructions of PSIO, it says before we test it with the device in the back, first test to see if it'll still boot a retail game. So we're going to try Final Fantasy Origins. Let's crack this open and power it on, and we'll shut the lid. So let's spin it up. Sounds like it's booting. Let's just shoot video mode. Okie dokie. So that's it, booted Final Fantasy Origins without issue. So what we'll do here is we'll power up the system, open the system, remove the game, right, the next step, I'll close the lid, it says we put a menu system on the SD card, which we've done. We've downloaded the menu from the PSIO website. It says put the SD card into the PSIO device, which we're going to do. You don't put it forward facing you, you put it facing away from you like this. Put it into the device till you hear a click. That's it, locked in, and then slot it into the parallel port at the back of the unit, like so, till you feel a nice solid connection. So you can see PSIO at the back. Then we try boot it again, and we see if it boots the PSIO menu system. And you can see it has done, instead of it saying SCEE for Sony Computer Entertainment Europe, it's saying PSIO for PlayStation Input Output. And there we go, that's a PSIO menu system booting up, which means that the install of the switchboard was successful and the PSIO device is working. Now what I'll do is I'll go back to my computer and I'll show you how to set up games to run on the SD card. So we'll power this off for now and we'll come back when we've got some games to run. So back in a minute. Okay, so we're back to my PC here. We're just going to try and add some games over. So games have to be in a subfolder, and they have to be ISO, bin, or one other format, I can't remember. ISO, bin, or .image from like clone CD images, and these happen to be clone CD images. So we're going to stick on Castlevania Symphony of the Night. So we're just going to, we'll just extract it over and then rename it. Games cannot be longer than 60 characters long, otherwise they won't boot properly. So it's going to copy over to the SD card now. It's going to take not too long. So we'll have Castlevania. We'll just copy over a few games just for testing. There we go. So that was Castlevania. So we'll rename that folder Castlevania _ SOTN and _ NTSC. For Symphony of the Night, and it's the NTSC version. Inside we'll have to rename all those images as well. So clone CD image, the .image, the subfile data. So that's Castlevania on. We're going to do Final Fantasy. We'll just copy disc 1 of Final Fantasy over. We don't need them all for now. This is just to test and see if it works. So now that's copying over to the SD card. We'll move it. Again, I'm going to rename it. So F2, FF9 _ D1 for disk 1 _ NTSC, and we'll just copy that. Oh, Control and Z, Control and Z, Control and C, Control V, Control V, Control V. So it's Final Fantasy 9 Disc 1 on, and we'll just do Resi 1, the director's cut we said. So just drag and drop that one. Again, rename it. So we'll go for RE1 underscore DC for director's cut underscore NTSC. So we'll copy that. Control C. Rename our images as such, because we don't want the long image names. And last but not least, we'll put on Resident Evil 2. So, oh, I wish I knew which disc was which. If this one's Claire, we'll just do this one and assume it's Claire, because I'm pretty sure it is. I can check the internet really quickly while it's extracting. This one is Leon. So again, we'll rename it RE2 underscore D1 underscore Leon underscore NTSC, and we'll use that to rename the files. And we'll leave it as that for our testing. So we'll come back in a second, we'll put the SD card back in the PlayStation, in the PSIO, and we'll go test these games and see if it's working. So back in a minute. Right, so we're ready to test. This time we're going to plug in a controller and our memory cards. And our SD card that's now got some games on it. We'll go into our PSIO device at the back till we hear it click. Let's power it on. Right, yes, there we go. So yes, we do want to use it in PAL mode. Actually, we're going to say no, we don't want to use it in PAL mode because we put NTSC games on it and we want to run it in NTSC video mode because it's smoother. So we'll say no, we'll press triangle. Should knock it into NTSC, which it's done there. Well, that was a cool intro video, wasn't it? Let's load the games list of the games we've got on. Where should we go from? We'll try Final Fantasy 9 first. So, X to load. X to play. This is the disc image. Black screen is not what we're after.
looks like we might have to. Oh, there we go. And the audio. Perfect. That is what we're after. Right, well, these up my cards with my Final Fantasy save data, right? So, but anyway, what's that new one? We'll watch some of the intro. Let's go open the link. Look at that. Princess Garnet's little Alexandros on her ship. Right, we're going to press reset and go back into the PSIO menu, and we're going to try some of its other features. So, if for example we had a game, here's Final Fantasy 9, in the drive, in the tray, we can press circle to load CD, so we'll try out that functionality. Warning, the load from CD-ROM drive. Warning, if loading from the CD-ROM drive fails, you must reset the console. Well, we'll press X to load and see what happens. Okay, it is spinning, but nothing yet. Oh, I think it's going. There we go. So now it's put in Final Fantasy 9, the retail version. God, I love that music, don't you? Right. So we'll reset it again. We'll take out our Final Fantasy 9. We don't want to scratch our discs. That's why we play backups. And we'll press triangle to see what options we have. So video modes, sound effects, splash screen, background music. We'll put the burning time, we'll turn it to on because we don't want burning on our display. So turn it to on. Race fine. Japanese navigation, no. That's swapping X and circle around because Japan had it differently. USB mode is off. We can connect a USB A to B cable to the PSIO device, and we can load games from a computer via USB, so you don't need to put them on an SD card if you don't want to, which is cool, but we're not going to do that now. That's a CD digital audio mode. Enable fast boot. If we put a bin image on the SD card, we can load faster without having to show the PlayStation splash screen at the start, where it says PSIO. We'll see the about PSIO, see what it says. PSIO copyright. CD systems, blah blah, looks like a phone number. Next, PlayStation. Selling trademarks. We'll go back. We've got a system info. So menu system 1.1 build 167. Games round 4, and firmware 2.2.239. FPGA firmware. PAT TV. PAT V 3110-2015. There's probably some updates out right now, so I'll probably will update it. And that's my serial number. So that was like the 22nd of, what month was that? January, February, March, April, May. 22nd of May. No. It's a serial number. 22. The 5th of the 16th. So 5th of July 2015. Manufacture date maybe? Unit number 192. I wonder what that 22 is. I wonder. Press circle for the credits. I think Yuri did everything, didn't it, pretty much? Yuri and Matthew Reed. All the early donors who got the project off the ground. Well, that was awesome credits as well. Are there any other options? That's pretty much it. So we'll head back. Try to do it in Castlevania. I think that'll do it. PlayStation. Close that lid. We don't want our laser getting dusted. And yeah, that's Castlevania booting without issue. On that. Nice thing about PlayStations, by the way, is all of them from every region support 50Hz or 60Hz. It just depends on the game, so you don't have to mod it for any of that. They all support RGB out, so you can just feed that RGB out into a SCART to HDMI scaler. You get your 1080p out of it. Whack it up to your new HD TVs, works brilliantly. With this PSIO device, you better use all your games forever. You don't have to worry about your lasers dying or anything like that. This is going to put a whole new lease of life into the system. Anyway, so that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this. An awesome mod for the PS1. Absolutely awesome device. You can order your devices from ps-io.org or .com. One of them, you'll find it if you Google it. I can't recommend it enough. So, see you all in the next video. Bye guys.